Aloha and good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on today, Friday, the 10th, 2020, July 2020. My name is Ashanti Bell, and I will be your host today. Thank you so much for joining us for our COVID resources, getting back to business. Now, as we all know, the world has been afflicted with a little virus called coronavirus. Well, yeah, coronavirus. And then it transformed into COVID-19 and got a snazzy name. And so now we all know it as COVID-19. And COVID-19 has swept the world and really showed us that we were not prepared for a disease or a virus of this magnitude. And with that unprepared state that we found ourselves in, it has affected a lot, not just our health, not just our mindsets, but also our business, our jobs, our economy. COVID has really taken the world by storm and has disrupted our normal as we know it. And so today's webinar is going to be all about the resources that Circle Network Group is providing, as well as some ways to be able to get back to the swing of things, get back to business as usual, but in a healthy space and a healthy place where it can be able to help not just your patrons, but also your employees and yourself. This is not just for business. We also have personal individual resources that are available, but I will be speaking in the form of business as we know it, because whether you are an employee or you are an employer, the economy is really being taken by storm by what's going on. And so a little bit about Circle Network Group. We are a business consulting firm with a healthcare niche. So the easiest way to say it is that we connect need to resource using our partnerships and our network. We believe that networking is the bridge to opportunity. And so we always look for opportunities to partner with companies that have a fundamental resource that can be able to offer our clientele within the healthcare and the business industry. We also have individual services that are geared towards people of everyday nature to be able to help them to thrive and to grow. Our mission is to be able to connect need to resource by building by helping others. And so we have resources in the industries of health, business, finance, technology, nonprofit, and education. And we intend to continue to grow those resources to be able to make sure that there's a fundamental link between you and the things that you need. There are so many resources out there, but unfortunately, our people die from lack of knowledge. And so if something's not always in your face, if you don't see it, if you don't hear about it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to use it. However, the resource is still there. And so what we look to do is to be able to expand and broaden the horizons of what resources are available, connect those resources to you all, the client, the customer, the business owner, the healthcare professional, the resident, whoever needs it, to be able to connect that resource to not only let you know that A, it exists, but also it's there for you. So one of the things that we're going to be focusing on today is definitely COVID-19 resources. We know that the government has put out so many different pieces to be able to help us kind of trudge along and to stay relevant in a space where everything is on a standstill. However, we know that those resources are coming slowly, and a lot of times the systems are being overwhelmed with the amount of need that is there. And so there are some very exciting and simple ways to be able to minimize your overhead, to be able to minimize the cost of things, because even though everything is on a standstill, even though people are at home quarantined, some people are going back to work, but we know as Texas has already shut down for the second time this year regarding COVID-19, even though we are not moving, things and bills are still piling up, right? With the evidence and the effect of COVID-19, health is our biggest commodity, being able to stay healthy, being able to stay well. But if for some reason we can't do that, now we're introduced with a huge health care bill on top of everything else that we're dealing with, right? And that can definitely be a strain on people. Even though we're at a standstill and we are not going to work as usual, putting in those 40, 50, 30, 20 hours a week to be able to gain some sort of income, our bills don't stop. right? A lot of companies have definitely created programs to be able to defer payments. However, nothing is saying you don't have to pay us at all. And unfortunately, it's a space where the economy, the economy relies on the patrons to be able to feed and to be able to sustain it. And the patrons rely on the companies to be able to sustain our normal way of living. And so we come to a standstill there when one can't be able to help and assist the others. And a lot of times we forget that as patrons, as citizens, as, what's the word I'm looking for? Consumers. As consumers, we forget that we are the bread and butter of these companies. If we don't spend, then they can't make their money. And we forget that, and being in such a consumer state of mind, we just think, give me, give me, give me, I'll pay you for this, and then now I have it. And even though that is a simplistic way of thinking, it also is a very dangerous way of thinking, because what happens when you can't do those things anymore? What happens when you're not able to pay your light bills, or pay your internet bill, or pay your gas, or pay your mortgage or your rent, because you're not making those revenues? You're not making the same amount of cash flow that you were to be able to sustain it. What happens to the economy? It drops, right? What happens to our need? It's still there, but unfortunately, it's unable to be resourced or unable to be satisfied. That need can't be satisfied because we don't have the pieces in place to be able to keep it moving. And so a lot of companies have come out with work from home pieces. A lot of companies have definitely started gearing and creating a space where you can work from home, doing new things to be able to create a cash flow. But still, that requires your time and your effort, and that is not going to reduce the amount of bills that you have. At the end of this, we'll end up seeing a huge stack, a mountain of bills that we now have to figure out a way to pay forward. And so Circle Network has partnered with an amazing company by the name of Vive. And essentially what they do is they reduce your monthly bills for the services that you pay every day for. Does not matter what the service is. It does not matter who the carrier is. They negotiate a lower rate for you to move forward on your monthly bills that you already have, not switching and not changing anything that you have, but literally just allowing for you to pay less based on the power of negotiation. Now, sounds too good to be true, I know, right? Like, what company would want to go to bat with these big companies just on the behalf of the consumer so that we pay less? And why would these companies want to negotiate with this company to actually give the consumer less, even though they could be receiving more? Those are all questions that we had before we partnered with this company. But it's very simple. As we are the consumer, we hold the power and the key. You can do one of two things. You can either go to a company, pay the price that they're offering for the service that they have, and continue to have the service, or you can be able to educate yourself to be able to know what are the what's the lowest cost that you can pay for that service in that specific state, and what other companies are offering a lower rate, which is their competition, right? And so what Vive has done is two things. They've added the power of technology and education, meaning they have incredible state-of-the-art technology that allows for them to know what people are paying for that specific service in different areas. Because it's not really right or legal if, let's say, someone in Canada, no, Canada is a different country. Someone in New York is paying a lower price for a cell phone service than someone in Kentucky, but it's the exact same service. That's not legal. But people cannot necessarily hold these companies accountable because they don't know what someone in New York is paying versus someone in Kentucky. And so it's important to be able to have that information when you're going to bat and negotiating what you want to pay. Secondly, buying power. us as the consumer, we as the consumer have the power to be able to go to bat and say, this is something that we don't want to pay this price for. We need negotiations. We need something that works better for what we have in our schedule. We need something that works better for what we have in our pockets. And with the amount of consumers coming together to be able to state that one-minded piece, you now hold the power and the keys to negotiation. An island is an island all by itself. But when you have a conglomerate of islands, now they no longer become an island, they become a nation. And so Vive has millions of customers all around the USA, and they use that leverage to be able to go head to head, back to back with the big boys, surpassing the customer service, surpassing the accounts receivable, accounts receivable department, being able to talk to the decision makers, to be able to let them know we want a lower rate for our clients. We know what other people are paying. We know that it's possible to pay this rate, and that's what we want to fight for and negotiate for the benefit of our clients. And it's so easy. It's so simple. I have been waiting years and years and years for a company to be able to come to bat for the needs of the consumer. We are so inundated with buy now, this is what it is. It's a one shop fits all, one stop fits all type of mentality that we forget that the power that we hold as the consumer is the power to be able to come together and say, this is what fits best for us. And so Vive gives that power back to the consumer by negotiating with these companies for a lower rate on your monthly bills. They don't only do this residentially, so for things like your internet, your energy, your magazine subscriptions, your phone, your regular memberships like Netflix, your storage, your lawn care. If you have someone that has a service in, like a water service, a delivery service, any of those services that you have residentially that you pay a monthly stipend to, a monthly fee towards, Vive is able to negotiate it. And they'll do one of two things. Either A, they are able to negotiate a lower rate for you in which they split those savings, the difference of those savings 50-50. So where you were paying, let's say $200 for a phone system or a phone bill, and they negotiate it down to $100. Now you pay a monthly bill of $100 for that same service you were paying $200 for, and you keep $50 and they keep $50. And so that's the way that it works. It's free to start, and if they negotiate a lower rate for you, you all share the savings. That's the first option. Option two, if they go to bat, you are already paying the lowest rate possible for the service that you already have. That's amazing and great. That is in the small 5 to 7 percentile of Americans that are not overpaying for their services. If you are in that small 5 to 7 percentile, they will send you a notification letting you know, congratulations, you are already paying the lowest possible rate for this service. Great job. Continue with that service. And so either which way, it's a win-win. On one end, if you're overpaying for your service, you get that savings. You get to move forward with a lower rate for that same service that you have. That savings that you retain in your pocket, you can be able to reinvest in yourself, whether it's reinvesting in a business model, reinvesting in remodeling your home, an extra vacation that you want to go on during the year, whatever it is that you retain those savings for. Now you have the availability to do that with only using your liability to do it. Or you get the satisfaction of knowing that you are already paying the lowest possible rate for the service that you have, and that you are doing a great job. Continue moving forward with that piece. And that's something that we are not given or offered as consumers in our regular day-to-day. There are definitely other companies that do a similar service to the bill negotiations, but Vive is one of the only companies that are able to do it on the extent that they do. There's no switching service, where a lot of companies want for you to switch over to a partnership company that they have for a lower rate. You get to keep the exact same service, the exact same provider, just at a lower rate. And there's a win-win piece for that. Additionally, business-wise, they have so many other benefits that they can give, because as business owners, we know that there's a lot of liability and overhead just for opening our doors. A lot of people don't see it as that. They see the product that we offer and think that that's it. But there's so much that goes into just being a business. And so what they're able to do, similar to the residential piece, is be able to negotiate a lower rate for the monthly services that you have. That's everything from your printing company, to your water company, to your electricity, to your FedEx subscription service that you use to be able to logistically move back and forth, to your paper service, right? Any service that you use as a business, they're able to go through and negotiate a lower price if a lower price is available for that service. And then they're also able to do a few other things. With a business relationship with Vive, Vive is actually able to go back 4 years, guys. 4 years on the bills that you've already paid, that's dead money. You're not even thinking about that money, and recoup the money that you overspent for those services as well. And so they're able to take care of 4 years prior bills that you had and give you a big check for the money that you were overspending. And then moving forward, the bills that you currently pay for, reduce those things. It not only reduces your overhead, but it provides you a space where you can be able to have funds that you didn't even expect to have, to reinvest in yourself, reinvest in your business, and expand. And who doesn't want that, right? So I'm going to share my screen. Let me see. I'm going to share my screen. And go through a little information, because everyone loves literature, right? Of things that we're able to do as Vive Nation, okay? Your business better. That's actually an understatement. It's even more than better. It's what you've always dreamed of for your bills and as a consumer. Lower your overhead and improve your bottom line with Vive. Our bottom line net profit as business owners, as entrepreneurs, are our number one moving force. That bottom line net profit will let us know how profitable we're being in our business, how the things that we are investing with or investing into are paying us back, and letting us know how we're thriving as a business. And so some of the things that Vive does for both residential and business in reference to negotiation would be electric bills, natural gas bills, telecommunication bills, water, sewer, trash, refuse, cellular bills, internet, and so much more. They do cable, phone, internet, TV, waste, water delivery, etc. Any of those things you can think of. They also have an amazing system. Even though you don't have to switch over to their system, they have an energy saving system, which is absolutely amazing. And switching over to this system will not only reduce your bill, but also reduce your energy consumption, allowing for you to have the most efficient energy possible. And they also have an energy efficiency system for restaurants, gas stations, anything that has like a walk-in cooler system. They have HVAC systems, coolers, and freezers. And that not only reduces the energy that is consumed by those things, but also allows for you to pay less than what you're paying already. So on top of being able to negotiate the services that you currently have, no switching necessary, they also have a system that they can be able to provide, which is bar none, hands down, better than the systems that are already out there on the market. And they do this in 50 states. The energy switching systems, they do this in 10 states. And the bill negotiations, they're able to do in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter where you live in the United States, they're able to negotiate a lower rate for you. What's Vive? Vive is all about finding ways to make your business easier and more affordable. We've saved our customers millions of dollars, and this is growing daily. And we donate 1% of our revenue to helping communities across the world thrive. When you work with Vive, you'll be confident you're working with a company that cares. Another thing that I love about this company is that they do exactly what they say. They're not just a company that focuses on the advocacy of the consumer, but also they give back. They have a nonprofit organization that actually donates revenue and gives back to communities all across the world to be able to help them to thrive and teach them how to be able to do better business in a better way. And so that's an awesome piece. When you're looking for companies that give back, then that's a great space to be able to reinvest in. Let's talk about some of the businesses that have saved and the average rate of savings on an annual basis for these businesses. All right, sample utility bills and auditing savings. Uncovered, $82,507 refunded, and $65,569 of ongoing reductions from one electric bill for the University of Texas. And so this is a sample bill. We work with companies like the University of Texas to be able to negotiate on small rates or big rates. So the $82,507, that's the 4-year audit that they went back and were able to recover for the University of Texas. And the $65,569 is the ongoing savings that they've now been able to reduce those monthly bills for their electricity bill. That's on just one bill, their electricity bill. Now we know that the University of Texas 9 times out of 10 uses a lot more electricity than a mom and pop shop or a residential customer. But those are huge savings that they now have in their pockets to reinvest in anything that they want to do. Uncovered a $49,660 refund from 11 utility bills from the agriculture company in Oklahoma. That's the 4-year audit that they were able to go back and refund that company on dead money that they'd already spent. They weren't thinking that they had overspent. They weren't even thinking about that piece. That $49,000 is someone's annual income right there as a refund back to them so that they can be able to reinvest in something that they need to do or want to do. Now let me ask you this question. As a company, how would $49,000 change your business strategy in today's market? In general, first of all. Secondly, in right now's market, where we are reduced in our patronage, which means that our services are being reduced, which means that our money and our income flow is being reduced, but our overhead is still the same. Some places are closed down. Some places are working from home. Some places are on a very skeleton crew type of system so that they can be able to follow the government guidelines of the social distancing and the amount of customers they're able to offer into their doors or serve in their doors. A system that is not working for us in regards to business owners. What would $49,000 do for your company right now? I can think of at least 20 different things as a business owner that I could reinvest those funds into. Sample bill negotiations number 2. A ballet studio saved $14,274 on 3 bills. That is an annual savings on 3 bills, just 3 bills they have. A sprinkler company saved more than $800,000 on 21 bills. 21 bills they uploaded, that's $800,000. That's a little bit over $250,000 that they've already saved on their, a little bit over a $350,000 that they've saved on their bills just by uploading for free. They uploaded for free. They got $800,000 back into their system, back into their company, negotiated a lower rate moving forward for their bills on 21 bills they have. That's amazing, amazing overhead savings. A construction service company saved $30,286 on 12 bills they have. So as you're seeing, upload all the bills that you have, upload them. It's completely free to upload those bills. It's completely free for them to start negotiating for you. And the great piece is if they save you money, then that's when they split those savings. If they don't save you any money, then you get the verification and the peace of mind that you're already paying the lowest possible rate for that service. Win-win. Simple energy auto switching savings. So this is on their auto switching service that they have, their auto switching company savings that they have. Auto switching savings company, no. Their auto switching savings program that they have, as we go back up here, it's available right now in 10 states. We're looking to get it in all 50 states, guys. So a simple energy auto switching savings bill, a health and wellness company saved $9,999 annually. An auto dealership saved $22,665 annually. A movie theater saved $18,732 annually. An art museum saved $12,087 annually. And this is just from switching from the energy company that they have to their energy savings service that VEEV has. That amount of differentiation in savings for a efficient energy savings program is beyond me. That is absolutely amazing. And once again, it goes back to knowledge. If you don't know, you're not going to do. And so by not knowing that there are systems that are better systems, less expensive systems, as consumers, we take what we're given versus being able to really research what is going to be best for our pockets, for our companies, for our homes, and for our lifestyles. This is going to be the last one I'm going to give you guys. A sample energy efficiency savings. A 16 location convenience store saved $103,418 annually on energy costs, just on their energy costs. A 2-location hotel company saved $122,508 annually on their energy costs. A 22-location fitness center company saved $189,766 annually on their energy cost. Now, a company that not only goes to bat for the consumer, is an advocate for the consumer, for the services that they currently have, reducing those bills on a monthly basis. A company that not only does that for consumers, but also educates them and gives them the option to offer a better, more efficient, less cost-effective, well, not less cost-effective, more cost-effective system than what they're currently using. A company that not only uses their proceeds and their profits to build their company, but also to build other people in other places, is a company that I want to partner with. And that's exactly why Circle Network has partnered with VEEV to not only offer these services to our current clients that we have as a value-added piece, but to anyone that needs it. If you are a residential client or a residential individual looking to be able to reduce your overhead, to reduce your monthly bills, especially in this COVID climate that we're dealing with. If you are a business that is looking to reduce your overhead, to reduce the cost of doing business and still keep the same incredible services that you have, this service is for you. It's completely free to upload. It's completely free to get our negotiators on the phone, negotiating a lower rate for you and your companies, for you and your household. And we only get paid if you get paid. And so it's a win-win system. Our negotiators are incentivized. That's the word I'm going to use. Incentivized to get you the lowest rate possible, because that's the only way that we eat. We only eat if you save money. And so we are right there, arm in arm with you, linking up to be able to provide a better service and a better way of doing business. So if VEEV is something that you are interested in, please get in contact with us at www.circlenetwork.org, and you can link up with us and we can go ahead and implement those services for you so that you can start saving today. I'm going to share one more screen with V for you guys, just to let you know the kind of services that they are able to offer. Because a lot of people are like, well, what kind of services can I save on? I suggest uploading all your bills. If you're not sure, just upload it. You'll be surprised at what you're able to save. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. All right, here we are, comprehensive commercial cost savings services. So in this space, I'm only going to be speaking to the business owners, but moving forward, if you're interested in this service, definitely reach out to us. So it just goes back into some of the different categories they have: bill auditing, bill negotiation, the energy auto savings, auto switching savings, and then the energy efficiencies. Now look here as they go into some of the bill categories that they are able to offer. Energy supply portion, energy regulated transmission and delivery portion, natural gas, sewer, water, waste management, telecom, that's your internet, your cell phone, your cables, single service or bundled, bottled water delivery service, your storage units, newspaper, magazine subscriptions, your payroll services. Guys, your payroll services can even have a reduced monthly rate for that. And even though a lot of people have been furloughed, a lot of people are on reduced hours, a lot of people have been unemployed, that payroll service, that payroll system is still necessary, especially if you have decided to take the PPP loan for your businesses. That is going to be necessary in regards to your reporting systems on how you're going to pay that back, on how you use those services. So definitely make sure you get some savings on your payroll services. Your web hosting service, office equipment leases, shipping like DHL and FedEx, advertising and marketing, companies that you're using for advertising and marketing, propane services, miscellaneous business services, uniform, rentals, pest control, porta potties, etc. They are able to do a lot of these services in all 50 states. Some of the services are only available in 10 states, which are really only one service, which is going to be your energy supply portion. That is with their autopilot energy auto savings. I keep saying savings, guys, because there's so many savings. Your autopilot energy auto switching. That is only available in 10 states. But all the rest of these services are available in all 50 states, and that is absolutely amazing. On average, business size eligibility, $100,000 total annual utility spends, no maximum for your energy switching savings program, no maximum for your other services that they have here, no minimum for direct purchase, $25,000 deal size for pilot. And so essentially those are the eligibility pieces for your business category. If you don't have these services, if you don't have these expenditures, your overhead expenditures in the form of $100,000 in annual utility expenditures as a company, then you would fit in that individual category versus your business category. If you don't have over $25,000, if you don't have over $25,000 for your energy efficiency spending portion, then it wouldn't qualify for the business. That would go back to the individual or the residential. But all of these other savings and pieces are things that would go directly for your business. And so essentially the way that they classify a business account versus an individual account is how much is your overhead annually. If your overhead ranges between a certain amount, then you're considered a business expense. If your annual overhead does not exceed a certain amount, then you would fall within that individual clientele piece, even if you have a business, and you still get those awesome services. And so these services are all available for individuals and businesses. These specific services like your waste management, your water, your sewer, your natural gas, your natural energy, and your energy supply portion is more based on the amount of overhead that you have as a business. If it's over 100,000, then you are eligible for that business program and the 4-year auditing program, which is something that is fundamental and amazing as a business. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you can save and how you can save. If you're a business that doesn't have over $100,000 in annual expenses, then the 4-year audit, unfortunately, would not be able to apply to you, because once again, you're moving from being in the business category to the individual category. If your overhead is $100,000 and over, then you now move to that business category, in which you can be able to have those added benefits that are for the business. But all in all, you reduce your overhead, you reduce your monthly bills, and you're able to move forward with a little bit more cash in your pockets to reinvest in what you need. So don't forget, if you are interested in VEEV, definitely check it out, www.circlenetwork.org. We're able to assist, we're able to move forward and help reduce that overhead and your expenditures as we move through receiving less for what we're doing, essentially. COVID has definitely impacted everyone's life in regards to our finances. Ooh, 11:11. In regards to our finances, in regards to how we move, in regards to our day-to-day activities, in regards to our regular scheduled program. I'll say we're not able to see people the same way that we used to. Everything is moving to a virtual space because of social distancing, because of the exposure that happens when we are in spaces that we don't necessarily know what's going on with those environments, which leads us to our next portion of our COVID resource webinar, and that is going to be our PPE functionality, personal protective equipment functionality. And so one of the things as business owners that we've had to learn to do is reinvent ourselves, and not necessarily reinvent ourselves in a form of stop doing what we're doing, but just innovation in a space where we're able to give people what they need for right now versus what we used to give them. And so one of the pieces that we have innovated within our company has been PPE, being able to provide the resources that are necessary in today's current climate in the form of protective gear and some state-of-the-art technology. And so I'll start going into some of those things right now. This is definitely a screen sharing portion because everything is so visual. You need to see it to know exactly what it is that we have going on within these pieces. So these items are being offered through our partner program or our partnership company, which is SOS, Saving Ourselves. And they are a nonprofit organization that believes in giving the resource to the need that is right now, being able to not wait for someone to come and save us, but to be able to truly save ourselves by adding the resources that we need for today's current climate to right now's current need. And so some of the systems that are offered, or products that are offered, are things like testing kits. That's right, COVID testing kits, at-home testing kits, and facility testing kits. Masks, everyone knows that masks are something that are needed right now. And so they're able to provide masks, some pretty awesome dope sauce masks, guys. The mask sensors, and so we'll see a lot of companies that are starting to do the temperature checkers before you actually go, the thermometers, the temperature thermometers that tell you what someone's temperature is before actually allowing them to be in a space. And a lot of companies are doing that form. This company actually does a mask on, mask off sensor, which is really awesome because it allows for you to see who has their mask on, who has their mask off. It tells you the temperature of the person that is in that space, and really helps for you to move forward. Give me 1 second, guys. I am pulling up the information. I thought that I had it readily available, but I don't want that information. I want a different one. I'm going to go into, so innovation is huge. State-of-the-art technology is definitely huge regarding how we're moving. And then they also have like the spray-on gloves. A lot of companies have started using that. It's definitely an amazing system. You just spray them on and you go, so that's huge. And state-of-the-art technology, which I'm going to leave for last because it's absolutely amazing. And I love exactly what it is. And to think that companies, our government, hotels, all these people have this, but we don't. The people that need it the most don't. So we're going to be talking about these resources and how to be able to bring them to you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys. The first thing that we're going to go into is the PPE equipment, the personal protective equipment. Now you'll see people, you know, walking around with these snazzy new masks, colorful new masks. I've seen people put, party hats on their mouth. I was looking at something the other day. It was bananas. They had like a plastic bag around their heads and their hands to just try to stay protected when they go out. A lot of places are saying no mask, no service. And so we know for the time being, the whole mask phenomenon is going to be something that we have to deal with moving into the summer and the fall. And so this company provides all of those pieces in all different forms. So some of the products that are available, you'll see here the the KN95 mask. That one's not as nice, but it's a 5-layer double meltdown, so you know that it is efficient. It is FDA approved, ISO approved. Some of the features of this mask are high bacterial filtration efficiency by 95%, nose clip and elastic headband for proper sealing, protection against dust, aerosols, and aerosol mist. And so that's really, really helpful. Application areas, clinical, including ICUs, medical, sanitation, pollution control. And so these systems, these masks that were generally used for these pieces, we're now seeing are being used for our everyday, just going to the store, just going to the gas station, going into restaurants when they're still open. People have to have their mask on. And now these things that were used for heavy duty pieces, heavy duty spaces and sanitation spaces are now being used for our everyday. And so you can be able to be assured that these masks are exactly what you need. I have definitely heard some back and forth on what masks are useful, what masks are not, what you should be looking for in a mask, what you should be staying away from in a mask to make sure that you're taken care of, that you are not absorbing the air in the spaces around you. And these are some of those pieces. Make sure that they have high bacteria, those filtration systems. Make sure that they have the nose clip, the elastic band. Make sure it covers from your nose to your mouth. Make sure that it's covered. If you're using one of those masks that are from ear to ear, make sure that it's sealed from this space so that the air cannot be able to get into those little wiggly spots. And so that's just one of the masks they have. This one I love. This is the reusable, washable N95 respiratory mask. And it also has an activated carbon filtration system, which is excellent because people are like, I'm breathing my own air. What about carbon dioxide? Like, I've heard so many things, but this is definitely the mask if you have any issues in regards to that. It has the added filtration system that definitely helps with your respiratory piece. And let's go through some of the key functionalities of these pieces. Key features: washable shell, replaceable filter, adjustable ear loop, filter. It has the SKU number of the filters that they have. The material is the elastic band garter. It has the plastic ear loop lock holder. The filter is a polypropylene polypropylene added with activated carbon ply, high quality cotton fabric, so that's excellent for irritations on the skin. That's excellent for a breathable material. We wear cotton all the time. And the valve is exhalation valve with silicone membrane. And so this is a heavy duty washable mask. It's super cute. They have many different colors. You can be able to buy the filters as you need them and just replace them. And that's a mask that is never going anywhere. You don't have to keep getting them and throwing them away. This is your mask. A good thing about this as well for business owners, let's say that you want to be able to have masks for all of your employees, you can be able to personalize it, putting your brand on the mask. You can do that to be able to help with that, what do you call it, branding for your business. When they see that mask, they know that it's you. And so that's a really awesome piece and functionality that we have through this company. You can personalize them as you need. Product is used as protection against air pollution, bacteria, toxins, dangerous gas fumes, allergies, and viruses. And so look for those functionalities when you're talking about what these masks can be able to do for you, for your health, for your employees, for your family. Make sure that it's a protection against specifically what you're using it for. A paint mask is a little bit different than a ICU mask. An ICU mask is a little bit different than if you are in a toxin environment. And so those are pieces to look for when you're looking for what mask you're going to be able to use. And we have amazing deals on these, guys. With us having the the partnership with the manufacturers, we get amazing deal on bulks for these pieces. So if you need them in bulk, we got you covered. The third mask is a nanofiber filtration mask, okay? So let's talk about some of the features of these pieces. And it goes back to the first one. As you see, it's a little similar to it. And it has the high bacterial filtration efficiency by 95%. The nose clip and elastic headband for proper sealing. The protection against dust, aerosols, and aerosol mist, which is excellent. It goes back into the application area, the clinical setting, including ICUs, medical, sanitation, and pollution control. And as you see, this little mask is super simple. It's super simple. If you don't want to be doing the most, essentially, you don't want to have the branding piece, you don't want to have the washable piece, you're just looking to get them and go, reuse them and move, this is definitely a great option for you. It has the nanofiber filter, completely filter harmful substances, completely filters harmful substances with nanofiber filters. High elastic ear tabs or ear bands, long lasting, consistent elasticity all day. It's lightweight, triple structural design, wraps to the chin for the perfect comfortable fit. And so that is important. Remember, I was speaking about what area that protects. It should protect this entire area, your respiratory system. So it doesn't just go over the mouth. It doesn't just go from mouth to chin. It doesn't just go from mouth to nose. It's from the nose all the way to your chin. UV protection. Now, how many of your masks are UV protected? Especially, let me just say, being here in Houston, Texas, it is hot. It is not just hot, but it is humid. Even if the sun is covered by clouds, those UV rays are so excessive, so harmful that, I mean, it's a mess. I know it's not as bad as places like Arizona. I can only imagine Arizona right now. But we are in the 90s and the hundreds right now. So this mask actually has UV protection, filters more than 90% of UV rays. That is amazing. That's higher than a lot of our SP sunscreen that we use. Functional nose support, high adhesive anti-fog. Now that is huge, especially for people that wear glasses, because you know, as soon as you walk out and you're wearing glasses, it fogs everything up. You're breathing, it fogs it up. And so it's an anti-fog type of adhesive system that allows for you to bypass all those issues that come with wearing glasses. This is our fourth mask. You'll see these as very simple, simplistic pieces. 3-ply surgical mask, meltdown. Let's talk about some of the features of this specific mask. Features: designed to protect you from dust, sand, allergens, and debris. Good bacterial filtration efficiency. Breathable and comfortable for carefree breathing. Disposable. Great fit on ears and easy to adjust. So these are some of the most simplest masks that you can get. However, this is exactly what it takes care of. Now, as you saw with the N95 mask, it takes care of dangerous gas, toxins, and viruses. This is more geared towards protecting you against dust, sand, allergens, and debris. And so this is extremely important when you're talking about what mask is going to be helpful for me in the space that I'm in. What mask is going to meet the FDA's approval for us to be able to move and get back to business for my employees and for myself. This mask is not for those pieces. It is a simple disposable mask. You can definitely use it in the functionality that you want to use it in, but its main functionality is to keep out dust, sand, allergens, and debris. And so if you're looking for this mask to be a one-size-fits-all piece, this mask is going to protect me from gas and toxins and viruses. That is, you're barking up the wrong tree with this one. This one is specifically for these pieces. Even though people will use them interchangeably, you need to know what is going to be helpful and what is going to be harmful in the environment and the spaces that you're in. Especially talking to businesses. I'm talking to you businesses right now. For businesses that are looking to be able to reopen, you need to make sure that you have the masks that are being FDA approved for your reopening. The N95 mask is approved for your reopenings. And so if your employees, if your patrons can wear any type of mask they want, to be honest with you. But if your employees are needing a system, if you are needing masks to be able to fit that need, your N95 is going to be your best bet for sure. And the great piece about that is you can be able to market it how you want to. So just put your label right across there, put your little signet in that space, your little emblem in that space, and now you're all branded up. Application areas: medical, sanitation, pollution control. So let's go to the fifth mask. Let me tell you guys, we've got plenty of masks here. The 3M mask for governments and hospitals. So let's go into some of the features of this specific mask. As you see, it's a little small mask. It goes over the nose and the mouth area, and it's got these metal pieces. Let's talk about some of the features. Meets CDC guidelines for Microbacterium tuberculosis, tuberculosis. Guys, it's been a long day. Meets CDC guidelines for Microbacterium and tuberculosis exposure control. FDA cleared for use as a surgical mask. 99% BFE bacterial filtration efficiency according to ASTM and F2101. Fluid resistant according to ASTM and F1862. Not made from natural rubber latex. And so people that have issues with like latex, allergies or any of those pieces, is not made from those fibers, so it's useful and helpful for you. Collapse resistant cup shape design, and so when you breathe, it's not going to be breathing in like a bag, it retains its shape. Braided headband, cushioning nose foam, and comfortable wear. And so those are some of the pieces that this is really good for. With this being CDC approved in reference to the guidelines, it's also really useful for businesses. So if the 95 mask is not something that you are interested in getting, you don't want for it to be that piece, you can also go with this type of mask, and you'll also be CDC approved to be able to reopen in those spaces. Application areas, operating rooms, clinics, TB wards, patient care, labor and delivery, infection control practices, and laboratory and emergencies. And so this mask is absolutely useful for it. You'll see it, it comes in a nice little blue, and it is approved also by N95. And so the NIOSH, 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 approved N95, it definitely fits those spectrum as well. So you have a little bit of option in what you want to do, whether you want to go this rate. This one is definitely not brandable. We're not able to put your brand on this piece. However, it definitely is a simple way to go, depending on what you're looking for. Talking about gloves, I spoke about the fact that we do have the spray-on gloves. So anyone that is not wanting to have like the latex gloves or the powdered or non-powdered gloves, you can also go the way of the spray-on, and they stay on for, I believe now we have a company that stays on for 48 hours. And so you have 48-hour protection on your hands with that glove, which is absolutely amazing. But the powdered and powdered-free nitrile gloves. So these gloves, as you see this lady wearing right here, the application areas are medical, sanitation, and pollution control. The features, the length of them is 280 mm, and so it goes literally from the hand all the way to the forearm. You're good with those pieces, and puncture resistant, which are huge, right? And so we see a lot of gloves that we get and they have like the little holes, and we're like, oh no, we're good. Germs can still get in those little holes. They can still get in them. If there's something on the surface, you can be using gloves pretty much for no reason, because they are, what is it? The word I'm looking for. They have been compromised. The integrity of that protection system has been compromised. So these gloves are puncture resistant, and that's absolutely excellent. The material that it is made out of is 100% synthetic nitrile latex. The type that they have are powdered and powder-free, non-sterile. The colors they have are blue, white, green, pink, light purple, black, and red. The powdered design is ambidextrous finger texture or palm texture surface, beaded cuff, USP grade absorbable cornstarch, guys. Let me get some water. Cornstarch. All right, we're back in business. USP grade absorbable cornstarch, and those are for the powdered. For the powder free, you have polymer coated or online single chlorinated, offline double chlorinated, ambidextrous finger texture or palm textured surface, beaded cuff. The gloves shall maintain their properties when stored in a dry condition, avoid direct sunlight, and the shelf life is 5 years for these. So that's definitely a great option for those pieces. Let's talk about these thermometers that are being used everywhere. So I went to the DMV the other day, and the first thing they did was check my temperature to make sure that I was allowed to go in. Well, the first thing they did was, you know, run down a whole list of, do you have this? Have you had this? All these things. The second thing they did was check my temperature. We do have these thermometers available, and they're infrared thermometers. Super easy. We put them to the top of the head. It checks the temperature. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now we're going to go into our COVID-19 supplies that are available. These are the testing supplies available. COVID-19 test kits available. So as you see here, antibody tests, we've got the antibody test, we have the PCR test as well. Mm, 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 mm. PCR rapid antibody test. So there are a few differences with this. If you are interested, because I'm not going to go through all of them right now, if you are interested, let us know and we can be able to get these tests out to you. One is going to be the nasal mucus swab. The other is going to just be the blood drop. The blood drop is going to be the rapid antibody testing. The PCR testing is going to be your diagnosis kit. It's just the nose swab kit. The turnaround time for these pieces are anywhere between, for the antibody test, there is a pretty much immediate turnaround. You've got a 2-hour turnaround, anywhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours to get your time and results. So that's excellent, especially for, let's say, at-home kits, to be able to get your results within an hour and a half to 2 hours versus having to wait you know, a certain amount of days, 5 days, 10 days, 14 days. That's really helpful to let you know how soon you have it and what you can be able to do to move forward. Because there are a lot of egg carriers that we're hearing about that are walking around with symptoms that don't even know that they have them. A lot of times people go and they get tested and they haven't gotten the results, and so they're, you know, business as usual. They're shopping, they're getting gas, they're going out to eat, they're hanging out with their friends, and then they get the results and they're like, oh, it's COVID. But they've already been in contact with all those people. And so now all those people have to get tested. So a quick, simple, easy way to get tested, your PCR testing is going to let you know within an hour and a half to 2 hours what those results are. Now your rapid antibody testing is going to let you know within 20 minutes. 20 minutes if you have it or you don't. And that is huge. To be able to prick your finger, that little piece of blood will let you know 20 minutes where you're at, what it is, what stage it's in. That is amazing technology that is necessary right now. So for people that want to be able to get testing kits to their home, this would be a great option and a great piece for it. We know that some places and areas are not testing. Some people have to go miles and miles away to get into a testing line to be able to actually get tested. I've heard horror stories of people being there hours in this long drawn out traffic line because they're trying to get tested. And so this is a great alternative for that piece. It gets sent to you, you get to go ahead and get your test taken, and you get to be able to get your results. And so that's super useful. For the people that are looking to be able to reopen, get back to work, but their employees are really iffy, you know, this is a great way to be able to do that. This is a great way to be able to have testing kits for your employees so that you can make sure that they are COVID-free before they come back to work, that they're not infecting or affected by the environment that's going on. On top of having the mask, having a test is so necessary. That not only gives peace of mind to your employees or your patrons, but also yourself. I know some huge companies have had to shut back down due to the fact that their employees have come to work with COVID. So this is a great way to be able to do that as well. Viral transport medium kits for COVID-19. Now this virus collection and preservation system, this is something that's absolutely amazing. We're just going to go into a few specs of these pieces. Make it a little bigger so I can read. Adopted to collection and transportation for coronavirus, virus of flu, bird flu, hand, foot, and mouth disease, measles, etc. It is also adapted to collection and transportation for viruses such as chlamydia, mycoplasma, and uroplasma specimens. General collection specimens form oral cavities, throat, nasal passages, anus, etc. System components, float, swab, virus preservation medium, and biohazardous bag. And so this system is literally for all these testing pieces. This swab, it comes with the swab, it comes with the virus protection medium and the biohazardous bag. And essentially what happens is after you buy this test, you put it in these biohazardous materials, and they actually get picked up from your door, from the testing system or the testing facilities, picks up from your door and takes it to their labs to be able to get those cultures and get those results to you. So it's door-to-door testing system, a door-to-door testing system. And that is absolutely amazing, guys. Absolutely amazing. It comes with your storage, it comes with your storage tube, it comes with your swab, it comes with your protective biohazardous bag once you take them. And it's an easy way to be able to, since we're not going out to a bunch of labs getting tested, to get your test done. So for medical facilities that are looking to be able to get different cultures and different testing samples for different types of viruses, not just for coronavirus, this is an excellent way to be able to implement for your patients and for those that need it. Viral transport medium kits for coronavirus or COVID-19 testing. This one is very specific. It's very simple. It's also door-to-door. It's just going to go into the same things that we just talked about. And so this is for the coronavirus. It's the door-to-door piece as well. RNA DNA extraction kits for COVID-19. This also is a door-to-door kit system. So individuals, you can be able to order this to be able to get your results super quick and easy. We're going to go over some of the pieces of this. Product name, magnetic bead method swab sample, genomic nucleic acid extraction kits, also known as RNA isolation, reagent kit 50T for PCR NGS. So for layman's terms, we're just gonna call this the RNA DNA extraction kit. Right, room temperature. Processing time, whole steps in 15 minutes from proteins K treated sample to DNA extractions in 5 minutes or less. That's absolutely excellent. Sample sources, tissues, saliva, body fluids, and buccal, cervical, skin cells, bacterial cells, tissues, swabs, CSF, body fluids, washed urine cells. These are the type of samples that this kit can be able to collect. This is a super easy kit. Oh, there we go. Super easy kit. It's also door to door, and so you have that added piece of convenience of being able to take it right from your home. That's extremely important. All right, and that is some of the PPE equipment that Circle Network is providing. And so if you need any of those, whether you're an individual looking to be able to get a test and do it at home, whether you are a company looking to be able to provide testing for your employees, whether you're a medical facility that needs access to testing kits, we have the resources for you. We've got the resources for you guys, from masks to gloves to ventilators. We've got ventilators. If anyone needs ventilators, definitely let us know, because I know that there was a shortage of ventilators in the hospitals. Testing kits, spray-on gloves, sanitation equipment, hand sanitation pieces. I know Lysol their stock increased, but their supply decreased. So if you're looking for those pieces, definitely get in contact with us, because we have them at our disposal for you. Those are resources we offer for you. We're going to go into our next segment of the PPE portion, which is our state-of-the-art technology. Now, this is near and dear to my heart. This is why I saved it for the last piece, guys, because it is extraordinary. So, have you ever noticed, we're going to get into some real discussion now. Have you ever noticed that when you see the White House broadcast, they're never wearing any masks? We're being told to wear masks, but they're not wearing any masks. A lot of countries, over 2,300 countries, have been able to decrease their coronavirus spread and increase and the deaths that come from those. And I'm going to let you know and show you why. I'm so excited to show you guys this. I really am. It's taking a minute to open because it's a PowerPoint, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is share my screen because when it pops up, it pops up. Here we go. It's top secret. O2 prime. O2 prime introduction, all right? All right. We are going to go into this. O2 prime is absolutely amazing. This is the same system. If you guys were on the last awareness of the ward part 6 of 6 event, we introduced this system for our initiative to be able to reduce the toxins in the space of 5th Ward and Kashmir Gardens. But this is absolutely necessary and amazing for these systems. Give me 1 second. I hear it's not sharing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing really quick. And I'm going to go back to sharing and see if it works out. Bam. Okay. I hope it's sharing, guys. I hope it's sharing. Okay, O2 prime. We're going to go into this introduction of O2 prime. What is it? What does it do? How can it help? Okay, perfect. It is sharing. O2 prime introduction, table of content. Benefits, system and installation, technology, references, third-party testing, case studies, questions. Over 200,000 installations worldwide, okay? This is a Siemens Connect partner product, all right? So everybody knows Siemens. Everybody sees it in our medical pieces. Everyone sees it in like our baby care and all that stuff. So they're a long-standing organization that have come out with a system that is bar none, hands down, necessary for a time and environment that we face right now. So what does it do? O2 prime reduces outside air, saves energy, reduces and controls bacteria and pathogens, reduces and controls mold. I really like this. Benefits, reduces and controls viruses and bacteria. I'm gonna say that again, guys. Reduces and controls viruses and bacteria. What are we currently in a state of? A viral pathogen warfare, a viral pathogen infection. Removes airborne particles, reduces and controls mold, eliminates the need for UV, reduces and controls VOX, ozone free, maintains, no. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get back to it. Can't move this mouse too much. Okay, we're back. Maintain savings, savings of outside air reduction, HVAC equipment reduction, new construction and renovations, operational savings, energy savings, and coil cleaning. That is absolutely amazing. All right, this is a little bit about how it's made. As you can see, this little system at the bottom that says O2 Prime is the system. It is a ventilation system that helps to filtrate and clean the environment inside and outside. O2 Prime is virtually maintenance free. Reduces and controls smells and odors. That's also really excellent, especially when you're talking about restaurants, let's say structures and buildings like office suites, apartments, schools, libraries, those sorts of things that have a tendency to really absorb smells. This definitely helps. How does it work and how does it help? Okay, particle charging. Amina NH3 molecules, free-floating positive and negative ions reduced by the O2 prime unit breaks down gases. The gases regroup to form safe and desirable gases already prevalent in our atmosphere. And so this is non-toxic. It changes the contamination into a non-toxic gas that is already in our atmosphere. And so it is non-hazardous to us, which is excellent, making them, as you see here in the little blue dots, water vapor, H2O. That's absolutely amazing. Positive and negative, reduce and control bacteria and pathogen, surface and airborne. So that's on things and in the air. Positive and negative ions react to form hydroxyls. The hydroxyls rob the pathogens of the hydrogen necessary for them to survive, making them inactive, creating water vapors, H2O, in the process. And so now these harmful viral bacterial pathogens that are going around all pumped up with all this energy, all this oxygen, ready to infect people, have been robbed from the necessity of their very core and nucleus to be able to make them inactive, which creates a space where we are now able to breathe healthy air. Reduce and controls airborne virus. Now, this is extremely important, especially for our COVID-19. I'm not going to say our because I'm not going to claim that. For the COVID-19 pandemic and climate that we find ourselves in. Airborne particles in the form of vapor droplets, dust, skin, scales, etc., act as a transport mechanism for airborne bacterium. This is a common means of spreading various types of contagious infections like coronavirus. The agglomeration or collection process by which O2 prime works creates ion clusters that reduce airborne particles within the HVAC system, supply airstream and the occupied zone, so everything within that radius in that space. By making these particles larger via collection, a larger percentage of particle clusters will be captured by the HVAC filtration system, therefore leaving the occupied zone with a lower level of airborne contamination. So essentially, in layman's terms, what it does is it collects those particles, making a bigger particle where it cannot be able to pass through that filtration system. So you have ions, 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 all these little ions, airborne particle. The collection of this particle, it makes it way bigger, and it collects here in this space. Once the ions attach to the particle grows larger by attracting nearby particles of the opposite polarity, thereby increasing the filtration efficientness. And so that is absolutely huge. These things that we cannot even see are able to be in our air and in our space, and that's how we contract all of these different pieces. That's why they say wear the mask. If you wear the mask, then it's supposed to help with the filtration of the air, of the contamination that's in the air, whether it's a cough, whether it's a sneeze, whether it's a on the surface or on those pieces. This is essentially an eradicator of those pieces because it conglomerates and makes it way bigger so that it can't get through that filtration system. So any space where this is implemented, that air in that space is way safer than the air that's outside. How airborne particles are created. Would you guys like to hear about this? Just know there are over 18 million particles in 1 cubic feet of air. Over 18 million in 1 cubic feet of air. That space to particle ratio is way, way too much. Way too much. So even if we wanted to just clean our air, we'd be working a very long time. We'd have to place systems in every little space to be able to clean that air. This system does it with just one. I'm going to pass that. Reduces and controls mold, viruses, bacteria, and pathogens. The positive and negative ions attack DNA, RNA cells, structures of single cell organisms to remove hydroxin, I believe. I can't see past my little sign there. O2 prime does not harm human tissue or skin in any way. It is 100% safe. I'm going to repeat that. O2 prime does not harm human tissue or skin in any way. It is 100% safe. It increases pathological health, productivity, overall well-being with no byproduct creation. Now that is huge to say that this system is taking all these harmful bacteria, pathogens, viruses, and bacteria and particles and creating them to 100% safe, breathable system with no byproducts involved at all. The fact that this system can create that loop is spectacular. Simons, you did a great job. The little bird. All right, third-party testing. Different bacteria that it's been tested with. C. diff, E. coli, Legionella, MRSA, norovirus, SARS, which is the formal name of coronavirus or COVID-19, VOC, air particles, enterococcus, and S. arcis, bacterium, staph, bacteria, pathogen, mold, third-party verification. Simons verified our third-party testing results with a third-party microbiologist. And so this is definitely approved. This is CDC approved, FDA approved. We'll go through all the approvals at the end. Let's go through some of these things, focusing on the SARS. Kill rate of SARS, 73.5% in 3.3 seconds, guys. Test type in the air. So COVID or COVID-19 or coronavirus or the SARS virus, up to 73.5% of that virus is killed in the air within 3.3 seconds. Now imagine having that on all the time. All the time. That's unheard of. Imagine having this space in our grocery stores, in our schools. I know schools are trying to figure out a way where they can be able to navigate kids going back to school with all this viral pieces. Listen, kids get sick very easily when they're in systems like school systems. They get colds, they get the flu, they come back with all these regular things. SARS or coronavirus is just another one of those pieces. So to say that it can be able to reduce those pieces within 3.3 seconds, I'm telling you, hands down. O2 Prime project overview by vertical markets. Arenas. Equipment savings, $1 million. Energy savings, $115,000. Now these are annual savings, guys. A lot of these are annual savings. When these different markets placed the O2 Prime in their systems, these were the savings that they were able to get. For Arenas, major renovations, they saved $1 million on their equipment and $115,000 on their energy saving. Because remember, it is an energy saving, equipment saving, equipment saving technology as well. Indoor sports, repurposed a repurpose of a building. Equipment saving, $63,000. Energy saving, $33,000. And that was an annual ratio. Hotels, new construction, $10,000 on their equipment savings, $18,000 on their annual energy savings. That's give me one moment, you guys. Continue to look at this, please. Hi guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? I apologize. I had to take that call. Business still moves, right? Even if you're doing webinars, business is still moving. Okay, so as you probably had a chance to go over some of these things, hotel construction, airport renovations, schools, we just talked about schools. They're able to save the energy savings of $24,000 annually just in school systems alone. Schools, new constructions, $150,000 in equipment savings and $38,000 in energy savings. Commercial mold issues, mold reduction of 99% in 30 days. That's huge, especially when you're talking about a lot of these long-standing structures here in America. We don't like to what do you call it? Renovate a lot of things, and we have a lot of structures that need renovations. And so things like mold and asbestos and those pieces are things that will be living in these buildings, and we don't even know it until it's too late. So the reduction by 99% of mold in 30 days is amazing just by implementing the system. The commercial box reduction in minimal levels in less than 4 days. Commercial outside air reduction, mold IAQ, $150,000. No need to clean and seal the ducts for the equipment. $12,000, $12,500 in energy savings, mold reduction of 100% in 30 days for commercial use. Healthcare, VOX reduction, reduced severe VOX in less than 3 days. Healthcare, bacteria and pathogen reduction. There are case studies in regards to that we can definitely get to you. Healthcare surface bacteria reduced by 35% in 4 days, and gram-negative rods reduced to 0. And healthcare mold reduction of black mold by 99% in less than 30 days. Guys, this system is really a no-brainer, not just for the space that we're in right now when it comes to coronavirus and how to really get back to business and protect ourselves, protect our loved ones, protect our employees, protect our patrons and the consumers, but also in a space where once COVID-19 is done with, and we've gotten past this curve, there are all these other functionalities that this system is able to take care of and really target so that we have a better lifestyle and better breathing environment within the spaces that we're at. So definitely, this is a winner. Healthcare pathogen, bacterial pathogen reduction, mobile equipment. We're not going to go into this right now, but just know that it's there. Healthcare surface and airborne mold reduction, elevated indoor air quality. Black mold reduced by 99% in less than 30 days. We just read those statistics. That is absolutely incredible, especially in a healthcare space. We know that like a lot of the hospitals, right, that we patron, especially I can speak for here in Houston. Houston is a medical mecca, and a lot of the hospitals that have not, if they have not just been built up, they're already very long standing. They've already been there for generations and generations. A lot of places have been repurposed to be hospitals, and a lot of places are being repurposed for testing centers and resources due to the fact of coronavirus. And so those long-standing structures, mold, asbestos, that is something that is a silent killer. And that's something that can be reduced in 30 days. We're talking about saving, just by implementing this system, saving on having to get specialists to come out, to tear down your walls, to get that mold out, all those pieces. The savings that you have just by implementing this system alone is monumental. Then you can take those funds that you've already dedicated to the eradication of the contaminants and the affected areas and reinvest that in something else. Healthcare university bacteria pathogen reduction hospital rooms. Now this is extremely important, guys. O2 prime reduced by microbiology. O2 prime reduced microbiological counts and pathogen bacteria linked to HAIs. Gram-negative rod program from 4 to 0 in high-risk patient areas. Bacteria colony forming units, CFUs, reduced at 53% just by implementing the system. Grocery stores, we just talked about grocery stores, right? Particles and box reduction. Reduction in airborne particles by over 99% and reduction in box by over 75% in less than 24 hours. We're talking about a 24-hour turnaround, guys, in your grocery stores, in your department stores. The test results show a reduction of particulate matter and maintaining the particulates to the lowest detectable level. It also demonstrates a significant reduction in VOC and maintaining the reduction during a 10-hour trading period. While people were still moving, guys. The owner of the store also commented that he has noticed a significant reduction in the odor of the shop, and it now has a fresh smell. The shop has lots of refrigeration and compressors operating inside. These create humidity and an odor. So as you know, grocery stores have a lot of different refrigerations, different compressors, different things to be able to make it work, to be able to keep the food fresh and ready for consumption. And so those things always have to be maintained. They have to be cleaned, and the cost associated with that can be dramatic for grocery stores. This system reduced that. Large arena renovations, construction, cost savings, equipment reduction, energy savings, clean coils. Now this is talking about wanting to get back to, people want to get back to basketball games and football games and being able to be in these arenas. Construction cost savings of $1 million. $1 million, just a clean bill. Annual energy cost savings of $115,000. Project cost, $350,000. ROI immediately. Toured Amelia Arena, home of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They also went ahead and put out a little, what do you call it? Test, that's it. Test for us in regards to this piece. Toured Amelia Arena, home of the Tampa Bay Lightning, where O2 Prime was observed after 5 years of operation. All coils looked like new. This is huge for you guys that are in construction, that are in arena and large buildings atmosphere. Their coils look like new after 5 years. Hotels, new construction, energy saving, better IAQ, equipment elimination. Project by the numbers, equipment, downsizing, elimination savings, $10,000. Annual energy savings, $18,000. Utility rebate, $6,700. ROI, 1.5 months. It's just 1.5 months. These are almost pretty immediate results, guys. Middle school renovation, energy saving, elevated indoor air quality, cleaning of coils. Projects by the numbers. Annual energy savings, $35,000. Utility rebate, $12,000. Outside air reduction, 15 CFMs to 3.5 CFMs. It went from 15 to 3.5. 15 to 3.5. Project cost, $45,000. ROI, 1 year. Residential homes. Guys, this is for you guys too. It's not just for these big buildings and these big corporations. It's also for our air quality. Airborne mold reduction of 97.5%. Main room and 99.5% in bedrooms and basements. Bedrooms of basements. In my professional career of taking airborne mold samples, I have never seen such a reduction as this within such a short period of time, except with mold remediation. Had the lab results not have confirmed what my nose had no longer smelled, I would not have believed this was possible. This is from Green Clean Air, Steve Welty. Description of problem, airborne mold spores in bedrooms. Pre-O2 prime results, 335,518. Post-O2 prime results within 4 days, only 4 days, down to 9,212. Now imagine what that was in a month. Airborne mold spores in the basement, 356,912. Post-O2 prime results in 4 days, 2,667. Imagine what that was in a month. Reference federal government. Now remember when I said that this system is in the government? This is why you don't see them wearing masks for protection. This confirms it. The Department of the Navy, they have this on their ships. United States Army, the Fort Belvoir leaders in excellence, the White House in Washington, Virginia Military Institute, Western Air Flight Academy, International Space Station. These are places that all have this equipment, guys. Why don't we have this equipment, guys? Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, DFW, Orlando International Airport, let me see, Birmingham Airport authorities. These airports are starting to put them in their systems because they see the value that it holds, especially right now. The only, and I'm going to say this, especially living here in Houston, the only hospital that has this equipment within their facilities is the Houston Methodist. They are leading in medicine and leading in protection in regards to airborne contaminants, viruses, bacteria, and pathogens because they have the system. The Tulane Medical Center, Mayo Clinic, Baylor Healthcare System, Baptist Health, Norton Healthcare, RMH Healthcare. The list goes on, guys. As you see, the list goes on. Hyatt, Simons, Ingenuity of Life, Sisters of St. Anne, Vertical Jump Park. Like, people are getting in on this. Clemson University. Question and answer time. That's it. What is keeping you from implementing this project? What is keeping you from implementing this technology? This technology has already been implemented in over 2,300 countries. This technology has already been implemented in over 200,000 spaces. This technology is not only saving lives, it's reducing costs, and it's reducing the equipment that is necessary to keep things moving. This equipment is not just the state of the art for us currently, but moving forward, changing the way that we live, changing the way that we do business, changing the way that we intake our air for 100% safe space for humans to be able to breathe. And with everything going on, the ozone layer being pretty much depleted, the economic situation in regards to our space, the environmental issues that we see, the burning forests, the toxins that are being spread and spilled everywhere. These are systems that we need in place to be able to maneuver properly, to be able to keep ourselves healthy, and to be able to stay safe. So shout out to Saving Ourselves movement, because they are the nonprofit organization that are bringing the equipment to us to be able to do just that, save ourselves. And that concludes our COVID-19 Getting Back to Business webinar. If you guys have any questions, definitely link with us on our website, www.circlenetwork.org. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, and we are open for your questions, your concerns, and open to be able to build by helping others grow. That's exactly what our mission is to build by helping you grow. And the first step to helping you grow is to educate you on all the resources that are available. The second step is to connect you to those resources so that you can live a better life. This is Ashanti Bell. I'm signing out. Malu, have a peaceful and productive day, and we'll talk to you guys later.